Is it good? What's up, y'all? We're live. Back in action. I got my. Oh. We're actually on, eh?
Yeah.
We're on? We're on. Welcome back to On the Mat, everybody. On the Mat in the village here in Senganga, in Vanuatu, in northern Fiji. My name is Jonathan Bati, and we'll be doing this. We've been doing it all week. This is our first week of trying this out. So just reacting to current events, telling you guys what's going on in Fiji, and just having a conversation about it because should it's fun to have an open forum and to discuss things and for you guys to get to know me and kind of like my opinion on some of the things that we see going on. So we got big news today, breaking news, breaking news. I'm very very surprised at what's happening right now, or what we've heard at least. So, has anybody heard about what's going on with the FIU? I got to I got to read up on this. This is unbelievable, man. I'll come back to that. I'll come back to that later. I'll come back to that later. But that is unreal, unreal. The Nrua are playing today, Fiji Nrua. So that will be. I'll just confirm the time for everybody because Perth is like 4 hours behind us. So that game will be happening at 9:35 p.m. 9:35 p.m.
Mm.
which is 5:35 in Perth. So 9:45 or 9:35 p.m. Fiji time tonight,
Mm.
May the 12th, Friday, May 12th, 2023. So Fiji and Ro will be playing Western Force. I think they can do this. Yeah, I'm
Mm.
confident. I would like to know.
Point last year. They only played once last year.
Oh, is that right? I can't. Oh, really?
2018.
2018.
Mm.
Who won?
Draw.
Rua. Yeah,
2018.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
It was a close one.
Yeah, the Rebels and Force have had a tough couple years. Rebels are a lot better this year than they were last year, for
Mm.
sure. Seemed like last year there's a few players on the Rebels team that were like they just didn't seem to have a full team. I don't know if that's because of the funding or what, but that will be an exciting game tonight. So planning on watching that.
I bet.
That'll be late. That'll go till like midnight.
Western Force is from where again?
Perth. Well, that's
Okay,
where they're
Perth.
based. Yeah, Western Australia.
Okay.
Hence the Western Force.
They joined Super Rugby a bit late too, eh?
I can't remember, to be honest with you. Do you remember when it's Super 12?
Yeah.
Yeah. I have an OG Chiefs jersey from Super 12.
Those big ones.
Yeah, the big ones. Yeah, with the big Ford logo in the middle. I think
Yeah,
sick. Yeah, love that thing. So FRU, unconfirmed reports from well-placed sources say Fiji Rugby Union has been suspended from World Rugby. So I've looked into it a bit, and it's very true. The Fiji Rugby Union has been suspended from the World Rugby Council. So they will be um they will still be able to. It sounds like they'll still be able they'll still be able to participate in the HSBC Sevens series, and they'll be able to participate in the Rugby World Cup in France. Thank the Lord. Because can you imagine if Fiji couldn't be in the World Cup? That would be a tragedy. A tragedy. So I'm just trying to figure out what I was trying to figure out is like what is going on here. So I'm reading from rnz.co.nz. This was unbelievable. Fiji Rugby Union Board operated illegally by Siromi Turanga. This is who was who they were interviewing. So Fiji's Minister for Justice and Attorney General Siromi Turanga has clarified the reason for the dismantling of the Fiji Rugby Union Board was because it was operating illegally. In a statement released this afternoon, the Attorney General explained that anomalies in the creation of its 2018 constitution rendered it null and void. Turanga said that in a meeting on Wednesday, he advised the now former board of directors of the Fiji Rugby Union that it could not operate as a charitable trust for the following reasons. These reasons are truly unbelievable. The FRU is being run by its board using articles of association of the FRU company, which is illegal for charitable trusts. There is no link. Number two, there's no link between the Fiji Rugby Football Union Trust Board, that's the charitable trust part, and the Fiji Rugby Union PT Limited, that's the company part, for the governing instrument of one to apply to the other and vice versa. So they're saying there's no link between the charitable trust and the company Fiji Rugby Union PT Limited. Um, where was I reading here? If you go down in this article, there was like, where did it say this? Oh yeah. So there's number three, the 2018 Constitution being used by FRU board to make appointments to run its affairs, set the AGM, call for nominations, defend appeals, defend the appeals by Suva, Naitasirin, and Namosi, and operate thus far is not registered under the Charitable Trust Act, nor the Registry of Titles, and is therefore illegal. This is the part that blows my mind. Sirom Turango said this was due to the fact that the Constitution was unsigned and undated by the trustees. It was also unaccompanied by the minutes of the meeting from the AGM, the annual general meeting, or the special general meeting, the SGM of the FRU, where so there is no minutes from the meetings where the Constitution was adopted. It was not witnessed either. It was not signed or stamped by any commissioner of oaths or solicitor, and it was not endorsed. It was not signed or stamped by the Register of Titles at the time it was lodged for registration. It's like,
What?
yeah, like so. How do you have it? I don't understand how you have like an AGM and you come up like with a constitution and you don't sign it, you don't witness it, you don't get any like commissioner of oaths, you don't have any JP at
That
least like
is
sign it.
dumb.
Yeah, like it just seems like to be like a complete oversight from like the most basic level. Like I have these things for our companies, and like how do they not have it? So yeah, I don't know what's going on. I can't even like it's even hard to have an opinion. I'm like, man, there's got to be some major investigations into the leadership. Not because I'm saying the leaders are useless or whatever, but because I think apparently nobody knows what's going on, and so they have to figure out how to have like a process of accountability and to like check everything that's been done in the past. Like just they basically have to like start it over like a new company. So I think this
I,
will actually be good.
I feel
This
like
will be good.
that's the probably a good move for them to start over,
Yeah,
or with a
yeah,
new company, because they've been boy, I think since I was like a child, ever since like back in my primary school days, I've
yeah,
been like hearing my parents and my grandfather, my grandmother been like just talking about,
yeah,
the body as a whole of Fiji Rugby Union,
yeah.
and how like they've been having problems ever
Mm.
since back in those days, and like um yeah,
It's yeah. It's been
I
it's
feel
been
like
something
it's a
that
good
like
move.
it's been nonstop.
Uh-huh.
Like yeah, I agree. I always can believe it. Like even when I was young.
World Rugby Union did that, eh?
Yeah, like I
Like,
think this. So all that happens, from what I understand, is they lose their right to vote.
mm,
So you lose the right to at the table to vote. So like I would assume like if the rugby was it World Rugby Council comes up with new laws, say for rugby,
mm,
like they don't get to sit at that table anymore
mm,
and have conversations about like tackle height
mm,
or concussion prevention and stuff like that. So they're not um and probably discussing tournaments and stuff like that.
mm,
So I'd say it's really really important for us as a small nation to have, but like as a small nation, but having so much influence in rugby, like around the world, like we're everywhere. Like Fijians are everywhere,
yeah.
and we're a staple for teams like at the grassroots rugby level in countries far far away. Like in Canada, you can go to the middle of nowhere and there's a rugby team and there's probably a Fijian guy on the rugby team. Like it just happens. Like, I know guys that never played a day of, or like a single game of rugby in Fiji, moved to Canada and started playing rugby
Mm.
because like everybody's like, you're Fijian,
Like if
you have to
you can
you
play.
play rugby, right? It's like obviously. And they're like,
That's always my observation. Like looking at how come that guy, and I see the way he plays is. not like the Fijians that play here.
Yeah, yeah.
But he gets to be in the team because he's
Because
Fijian.
he's Fijian, yeah, yeah.
Because people just think
So
like,
that's the name that we have. That's the name that we have for ourselves around the world.
uh,
So I think it's really important for us to have a seat at that table. So I just hope that this gives an opportunity because I'm sure that there are people and people you can clip this out and like take earlier parts of the conversation that I've just had, but like I'm understanding. I'm also sympathetic with the leaders at FRU because I'm sure it sounds like they've been under budget this year. Like
mm,
last year, I think they had a 200 and some $1,000 profit, um, which is I don't really have an opinion on because I don't know if that's good or bad. Like I don't know what to expect, but
mm,
I'm sure that there's like a lot of leaders within, or I'm sure there's a lot of people within the FRU, Fiji Rugby Union,
mm,
FRU, that are like also confused about what's going on, don't know how to address issues. So I think this will just be a good wake up call. We get to redo it. We can restart, and I
yeah,
think I think it's good. I think it'll be good, and it might even be a relief for some of the people in the FRU to either be released from this duty or to have the opportunity to do it better this next time.
mm,
So, but there's a lot of stuff like with the Suva Rugby Union. Like, did you hear about that?
no,
Like,
what?
so guys, I'll have to look into it more. But there was
They have
like
their
like
own issues.
yeah, like there was issues between the Suva Rugby Union and the FRU that kind of like ignited this whole thing,
Okay.
where it led to one of the head guys being sacked last year.
Hmm.
Um,
You
yeah.
saying like you think like what does it say? Are they in it together? Are they?
So Union acting CEO Salih Sorvaki has told the FBC Sport even if Fiji loses its seat on the World Rugby Council, the national teams will still feature in tournaments. Sorvaki said a statement from World Rugby is expected later on Friday. I looked, there's no statement yet. The following revelations by the Suva Rugby Union last month that the FRU is not legally operating. The Fijian government, through the Minister of Justice, Surami Turanga, suspended all board members and cancelled the scheduled annual general meeting on April 19th. So, yeah, I don't. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting that they wouldn't figure this out. Like, I must have just, I guess, the beans got spilled. Like, I don't know why they just wouldn't keep this internal and try to figure it out between, you know what I mean, before it like gets to such a bad stage.
Yeah.
But like, and also like, why? My question like is then like, why would the World Rugby Council like is why are they so quick to release the FRU like without like giving us a chance to like get it figured out? Like, it seems like maybe there is like
Ongoing.
frustrations.
Sounds
Yeah,
like there's
yeah, like
ongoing issue.
there's something been going on, and so they were like, "Sweet, an excuse to get them out of here. Like, let's get them out." So I don't know what that's all
Mm.
about. So yeah,
But
I don't know.
luckily the boys are still playing this year, so
Yeah, so they'll still
they're more
be
lucky.
apparently they'll still be able to go to France. We'll still be able to compete in the HSBC sevens. And I wanted to find the original article here. Oh, I think you sent it to me. It's on Facebook. Facebook, a very reliable place for all your news, especially the comment section. So exciting. Uh yeah, there was the I wanted to read up on where they said they talked about like how below budget they were or how under budget they were this year. Like, it sounds like it's oh yeah, here it is. Unions being like other like Namosi and like the Siri Suva Rugby unions have raised questions about financial management with a reported loss of Fijian 1.3 million in the FRU's 2022 annual report. Rugby House put it down to the absence of sponsors for programs, losses in domestic competition due to reduced sponsorships, and under collection from the budgeted income. So the absence of sponsors for programs, losses in domestic competition. So I think somebody's got to own something here eventually. Like, the absence of sponsors for programs it means that you haven't built enough value in whatever you're trying to get people to sponsor to make it feel like it's worthwhile for them to sponsor you. Like if I have people coming to me all the time asking, "Can you sponsor this? Can you sponsor that? This tournament, our team, our rugby club, our this and that." And it's like at the end of the day, it's like, what do I get as a business if I'm giving you my money? What am I going to get out of it?
Mm,
Like my dream, and I've always said, is that I want the Waka brand to be on the front of the Fiji rugby jersey, and it will be.
mm.
But like that is if
That's the gold.
that's the goal. Yeah, that is the goal. Yeah, yeah. You guys will see it one day. There'll be a nice Waka logo on the front, seeing our roots, and that's the dream. I've earmarked that as kind of like, okay, that's the big goal. It's something that is like it's just like something to check. It's like some people want fancy cars, they want boats and like fancy clothes. I need the Waka brand to be on the front of the Fiji rugby jersey.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
2031. By 2031, it has to happen. That's my goal. So, but them saying that, like, it also, I'm just saying that because, like, in my mind, I'm like, I don't actually care what it gets me because it's just a goal. Like, that's just something in my lifetime I
Mm,
have to achieve for myself. And so, um, it doesn't really matter, I guess, if there's like a good return on my investment on that one. But for all these other things, I'm like, okay, I'll give you guys a bunch of money. Then like, are you guys gonna go to tournaments where like you're gonna help me with my branding? So like the hard part, I think, for us is that people come to us thinking that we're way more affluent. Affluent, no, we're way more influential. We have way more of an audience
mm.
than we are rich,
Yeah.
right? So for us, it doesn't make sense to give money in exchange for like getting publicity
Mm.
because we have the publicity and we actually need our money. Do you
Right.
know what I mean? Does that make
Yeah,
sense?
yeah, yeah.
So we're like a lot of businesses, like they need to get more publicity,
Mm,
but they might have the money.
mm,
So like it's like for me, it's like yeah, it's just like it's hard to justify the sponsorship thing, but I want to do it. Like I still want to do it. It has to make sense.
mm,
Like it has to be either true to like they're true to me. Like we align on like core values, like being like Christian or what we want to do inside of the community, working with like youth and
mm,
stuff like that. Providing safe, like good alternatives for youth in the community. Like I'm talking about sports here.
mm,
So that in that case, like I don't need it to be like a big win for me because I feel like it's doing like the money's going to be doing what I want it to do,
mm.
which is helping the community. So you're gonna do on baby mix here or what? Oh, Friday, eh?
Yeah, yeah,
Um, should I just read some comments on here?
yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
So I'm not gonna read the names. This is on the Table yeah, Table page on Facebook, I guess. No government involvement after this cleanup. World Rugby have monitored us for the past 16 years and is not happy with our financial management due to corruption. I'm not surprised World Rugby intervened since FRU forced the government's hand to force a cleanup of the cronies. What are the cronies? What's a crony? So they can get out and be replaced by new bloods, which hopefully includes Tuiloa. Tuiloa, do you guys know who that is? Tuiloa? Yeah, some guy, obviously.
Yalao.
Tui.
Hey. Shush. Moturiki guy.
We have one of our towns here from
Moturiki.
Moturiki.
One of the
So
boys in
he wants to
Boraya.
make a baby mix here. He doesn't know that he's he's in a dangerous place this weekend. I believe that this is another Chese. I believe it's for the mismanagement that has surfaced, judging by the areas World Rugby wants to be improved. Yeah, I mean, there's been so many speculative stories about mismanagement of money. You guys want this? Want this? Hey, you want this? Be quiet. You shut up. Get up. I have my stone here. Have my slingshot here. Huh? Curry. Have another curry
Have
again.
another curry.
Come on.
Yeah.
Um. Yeah, they got to get their stuff under control over there. What else do we got for news right now? What's happening in the
Oh,
world?
you heard
What's
about
up to the
the
world?
cruise ship?
Oh yeah, so Captain Cook got a new cruise ship, hey?
Hmm.
That'll be
Another one.
and another one.
Mm.
Captain Cook got a new cruise ship. Um, I've been on I've been on both of those the sailboat and the big cruise ship. I guess if you want to call it big.
Oh,
And it's cool. I think it's a pretty shallow hull, so you can go into like places where big cruise ships can't go. Like
uh,
they can only go to like the big ports,
yeah.
but they can go into like islands, get really
Mm-hmm,
close,
mm-hmm.
and so that's what's pretty cool about being on the old Captain Cook ship. So I don't know if they're going to be retiring the old ship or if this is an addition.
Even a big one, I think.
It's bigger.
I think. I don't
Okay,
know. Yeah,
okay. So
big and
it,
I think.
so I read this. How wine and candy helped an Australian woman survive 5 days in the bushland. We're going out into left field here. Good job, Captain Cook. Before we close that off, yeah, that's a good sign. So they're betting big on themselves, obviously.
Mm.
How wine and candy helped an Australian woman survive 5 days in the bushland. A woman who went missing in the Australian wilderness after making a wrong turn survived for 5 days on wine and candy.
Oh, I saw that
A
too.
48-year-old woman who police identify Lillian was rescued by helicopter on May 5th. Okay, let's go down here. Without cell service, she was unable to call for help. Health issues made it difficult for her to try to walk, police said, but ultimately they may have helped her survive. She was able to use a car heater overnight to stay warm. Planning for only a $2 drive. Lillian doesn't drink, police said, but she eventually consumed the bottle, which was her only liquid. um,
Wow.
Lillian
Wow.
doesn't drink.
Yeah.
Yeah. Apparently, she said it was for a friend. She intended as a gift for her mother. Sounds
Mm,
like Lillian might have
well.
gone missing. You know, sounds like a terrible couple days. Just too much wine, candy. Dang it.
Everybody, that's your survival kit right there. Have you ever gone missing? Just get yourself a
Yeah,
bottle of wine.
I think everybody in Fiji should keep a bottle of wine and a bag of candies in the back of their car at all
Mm.
times,
A bottle of
and it
grog.
will. How
Hmm.
long would a bottle of wine and a bag of candies last in the back of a car? Emergency ration. Emergency the same night.
We Fijians, we
Yeah.
jug our wine down. We don't drink it like.
So the emergency would be right away,
Yeah,
basically in Fiji.
we don't drink like sipping the wine. We'll be
Yeah,
jugging it down.
that's
Even
true
not
actually. So
even the
that's
mouth.
that's an interesting concept. Thank you, Lillian, for the ideas. Um, how like we come from a culture of people who like we when we drink yangona, you gonna mix that up or what? You just gonna keep? Oh, it's you just have
Water.
water.
Uh-huh.
Just start with water. Just practice. Um, we yeah come from a culture where like there's a culture of consumption of liquid, and that is like the thing like yangona is so much more than just like something to drink and get drunk on, or to drink and to relax, or even it's more than just like s- sitting around telling each other stories. Like it's actually like what Yangona is a traditional drink for those of you who might not know who are listening to this in Fiji, where we harvest the roots of a plant, and that was like traditionally like I guess is you could say like that's what we say like binds us together,
Mm,
right? Like in the Vanua, like in the land,
mm,
like that's like we're like connected with that plant. So like it runs deep in our blood, I guess you could
mm,
say, right? Um, so it's gotten also, but it's gotten to the point where it gets abused for sure, and it gets
mm-hmm.
to be too much, and you can get like really red eyes and kanye, like dry skin, like
Scale
Tui
fish.
Tui the other day.
No.
Oh,
What?
I thought you were complaining
Wait,
about
what's
kanye.
exposing me
Not
here?
from that. No, actually, I've
Okay.
never. Okay. I've never seen you with that ever.
But go back to Lillian, bro. For 5 days, just lollies and a bottle of
Lollies
wine.
and a bottle of wine.
I mean, well, lollies are sugar, so that must have been kind of
Yeah, that would
energy
help.
going.
Yeah, you wouldn't need
Hmm.
much. I mean, in 5 days is not that long. I know people that have done 5 day fasts.
5 days fast.
Yeah.
Whoa, she must have been doing a lot of fasting and praying.
Yeah, right? With the wine.
Wine.
So the problem in Fiji is that we can because Yangona or kava is consumed in like big cups and like you drink it. you drink a lot of it. It's a high quantity thing, and it takes a lot of it to feel the effect. But when you then start drinking another liquid like that has alcohol in it, then you get very intoxicated because you come from a culture, from a style of drinking where you just drink a lot.
Mm,
And so like there's always this thing in Fiji like blackout. Gotta get blackout. And
mm.
it's like because like blackout's the only thing people know because they just like bottoms up every time. It's not like
Yeah.
obviously
Uh,
like like go out for a beer and like you have a pint, which is or like a half pint or whatever, and like you just sip it for like half an hour,
mm.
hour. Here it's like taki, like woo, eh?
Yeah.
Like you have to just like slam it.
Uh,
So I don't know, I don't know any Fijians personally that nurse a beer for like a while. It's
mm,
just like smack it. So
mm,
that hasn't worked out the best, I guess you could say. Um, let's go do some comments.
mm.
What do we got?
Okay. Oh, we have Ryan Ready back here again.
Hey, dude, what's up?
Bula bula.
Thanks for joining. It-
Ah.
We appreciate it.
So this question is:
Mm.
Do you plan on exporting fruits, vegetables, and nuts to Australia, New Zealand, Canada, US in the future?
Yeah, I would love to. I would love to. We're working on things in the background right now so that we can work towards that. Um, yeah, again, man, Fiji is so tough. Being where we are, so far away. So we have to go back to what we talked about. I think on one of the first episodes. Wow, really, really. What if I just like, hey, yeah. What if I just like spank one of them on the head with one of these stones? Just slap, nice, lightly. Um, you have to value add. Going back to one of our previous on the mat episodes. So I think whatever we do, because we're so far away, we have to market our products properly so that we can then package them, make them. This comes from like super tropical, beautiful, sexy Fiji. You know, so dude, what is with this man? Like all the chickens in the village. Like you
They
guys want
like
to
you,
come in?
bro. They like
Huh?
you. They want to just be around you.
So, so yeah. Speaking about, we don't grow. Do we grow any nuts here? Coconuts.
Okay, coconuts.
Why
Yeah,
are
we
you
do coconuts.
Speaking about these nuts,
Oh, you go.
I'm going back to the question.
You mean coconuts?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we have like um
Somebody said, oh, they used
copper
to grow.
millis, copper millis. Yeah.
Yeah, but anything other than any nut other than coconuts, and other than the other nuts, dude, this guy's unbelievable. I'm trying to
Oh,
be a
okay.
grown up over here.
Okay. Let me
Oh
see.
no, one of the guy that we were at dinner with the other night, he said that they used to grow cashews. Can anybody confirm that for me? Did we used? He
Oh
said we
yeah.
used to grow cashew
Yeah.
trees here in Fiji, but
Cashew
yeah,
nuts.
cashew nuts. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on. Yes, we do intend to export 100%. We will be doing that
Yeah.
because I think our brand will be so powerful and that people will want us will want to buy the products that we have. And I've already had talks with people who would like us to be like promotional, basically like join their business as a promotional side of it. So take a stake in an exporting company and not actually have to buy that would be my ideal thing. And I think I'll probably try to do something like that so I don't have I'd rather acquire shares in a company that already does the work instead of like doing it from the ground up. Does that make sense? So instead of like doing everything by myself.
Mm.
Why, what's coming out in the comments?
No, people just sending on laughing emojis. No. All right, next
Damn
question.
nuts.
I was like, you asking me, like, do we grow nuts? Oh, you mean nuts? What? Okay. Oh, nuts.
Nut.
Nuts.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
You mean that nuts? So, Jonathan V, how's your family business, brother?
In Fiji?
Yeah, I guess in Fiji.
Yeah. Um so pizza's been awesome. Like I think what you have to consider. Here we go. Let me see one Brown Basin. Um, what you have to consider when it comes to business, I don't know. I think in Fiji you mainly see you see like a high high volume people, like high volume of customers and low profit margins,
Hmm.
or you see high yeah, bulunaka bulare
Wala,
live
live.
bulare
Wala kay mutrid.
Tao.
Missing ko yumuk. Mana?
Ew. Chase.
It's a
I have
thing.
to I have to give Lillian a call, ask for some lollies. Eh?
Yeah, Lillian has a bunch of it.
You hear to hear live. So you can have companies that, or two types of companies. These are not the only types, but you can have like high volume of people, low profit margin, or you can have low volume of people, high profit margin. And so what the business that we run, like the coffee shop, is, because it's in Sanganga, it's the best place for us to do like a flagship store because we get to make all the mistakes here. Like I would rather make all the mistakes in Sanganga than like have opened this business, say in Suva, having no experience in the coffee game, and making all the mistakes in front of all of you guys. So it's nice to do it here. And like I'm saying, making mistakes, but like making mistakes. Like you take action and you make mistakes, you learn and you move on. So we've been able to, with the addition of pizza, we're high with the addition of pizza. People who used to come in and just buy a drink now buy pizza, and people who come buy pizza now buy a drink. And so I don't serve like Coke or any like processed, like processed. Not that it makes it sound like I'm a health nut. I'm saying like factory produced drinks like Coke or like Fubu,
Frubu.
Fubu,
Frubu.
Fubu, or like the shorts or like the shoes. Um, because like you make 10 cents, 20, 30 cents on a single sale. So I would kind of cannibalize our own products if I brought in like those big brand name drinks. So I do better by keeping them out of my shop. People go other places if they want those, or like the shop right next door. And so we get to keep people buying our stuff, which is higher profit margin. And so we're low volume, high margins. Is that, if that makes sense? So not a lot of people because we're in Sanganga, but we make good margins because we make all of our stuff in house. So like we buy our coffee obviously from Bula Coffee. If you guys want like really 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 good coffee, go check them out. Um, but that's that we've set that up. So
Also, this live video is sponsored by Fresh Tea and Coffee.
oh yes, they are sponsoring. Actually, I gotta give them a call and say thank you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're welcome. They sponsored Fresh Tea and Coffee has sponsored this live video today. So we are located in Sanganga, which is halfway between Sabu Sabu and Lambasa, or Nambualu and Lambasa. So if you're ever like on the road driving and you're like you're starting to fall asleep, just swing in.
Mhm.
We're there's only one junction in Sanganga. The police station is on one side. You can't miss it. Turn in the direction of the police station. Go about 200 meters down the road, and we're on your right hand side across from the primary school. So if you guys want coffee or pizza, and we do pizza by the slice. So pizza by the slice is like ready in 60 seconds. You come in, you can just buy a slice, and it's only $7. So there you go.
I was laughing at the way you were showing the direction. Reminds me of how we Fijians, I don't know if it's a Fijian thing or is it a Pacific thing? Like how we show directions.
Yeah,
Oh
like
yeah.
that's
You know the third post, the greenhouse. Yeah, you turn left and then you go up uphill.
and then
That's
there's
just close by,
yeah,
close by.
and then
Yeah.
you'll see it. There's one blue house.
Mm.
Oh, so it's the blue house. No, 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 it's
Yeah.
behind the
Behind
blue
the blue
house.
house.
Dude, that's classic. That is classic Fiji. Like you're like people like they end it. They're like, and then you'll see like
Yeah.
one big nursery,
Yeah.
the big nursery, and the house right beside that.
Yeah.
Okay, so the house. No, no, not that house.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
the other house
yeah,
behind that house.
behind the house.
Oh, okay. We almost make it, but not quite.
Oh!
We're going down. Our set's
Okay,
going
okay,
down.
okay, okay, okay.
We live. We still live?
Yeah, we still
Any other comments? I gotta check out
we got
Mrs. Pinkfish.
more more. Another question is: can you
Hit me.
export coconut juice
Coconut
to
water, right?
yeah coconut water juice?
Right.
Mm.
Um. Yeah, I think you can. It's just like I think so. It's disgusting. I've never tasted any good ones from a bottle. So, and I think the reason I don't know, you guys. I don't. I'm just assuming here. I think the reason for that is because they use the water from ripe coconuts that are harvested for making oil, and it's like a byproduct. So they don't use the good water from the green coconuts because then there's nothing to do with this product after. So I think the reason the water all tastes like kind of weak and it's not like like in a lot of the trees that we have around here, like when you open it, it's like Sprite, like it's like almost fizzy. But so I think the reason for that bottled coconut water is not good around the world is because it's the water out of the ripe coconuts, because they use the ripe coconuts to make like coconut oil or coconut like shaved coconut for baking and all that kind of stuff. Does that make sense?
What do we call like the boo? What's the
Green
is that
coconuts, just
green
like
coconut?
unripe coconuts.
So they actually sell the real coconut juice, like ripe coconut juice, and not the green ones.
Yeah, like it just comes in a bottle. It's just like water, but it just
Oh,
it doesn't taste good anywhere. I don't know if it's because it's watered down, but you can buy it in this. I think you can even buy it in supermarkets in Vitilevu, just coconut water.
I think the coconut water tastes better inside the coconut.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I think that's like again, I think that's because they're using coconut water from ripe coconuts, which you can drink. It's definitely drinkable, but it's not that good compared to the green
Yeah,
coconuts, right?
can't drink it.
But I think after you open a green coconut, like there's nothing to do with the whatever's left. And if you would let that coconut ripen, then you could use the flesh inside of the coconut
Mm.
to make all these other things, and then you get water as a byproduct.
mm,
So maybe there's a market for good coconut water from actual green coconuts.
okay.
I don't know. I would only do it if we could do it well. That's for sure.
Here's an interesting another comment,
Yeah.
question from
And another one.
Harish Singh. Harish Singh Bula. Can you do a documentary on the haunted places on Andre in Raki Raki and Nako
No,
Kaika Balevu?
Thank you very
no.
much.
Thank you very much.
Bro, you heard of that place? I've never heard of that place. So,
Ra is probably one of the most beautiful places in
okay.
Fiji. Like when I drive through, but for whatever reason, I'm not interested in that kind of stuff, and I'm especially not interested in going to those kind of places in Ra. That is not. Yeah, I I don't even know if I should like be talking about this, but
Yeah,
yeah, I don't know.
yeah.
Yeah, I'll
Just to
leave it
know.
at that.
Uh,
Yeah, I just
Thank you, Harish Singh.
I'm not into that. I'm not into that. There is like a certain thing like if you open like the spirit. Are we physical beings in a spiritual world? Or are we spiritual beings in a physical world? And that's an interesting conversation starter. But if you're opening, I've always been of the opinion like if you open yourself up to spiritual things like that, like if you open that door,
Mm,
like your heart has to be ready for that.
mm-hmm.
So like exposing yourself to scary movies or like demonic like spiritual things before like movies, before like when you're a kid, it's because like the reason it's so scary and then you're scared of the dark and all this stuff is because like your heart, I think your heart wasn't ready and you opened a door that shouldn't have been open before you were mature enough to like experience that. Does that
Yeah,
make sense?
yeah. Yes. I don't get why. Well, maybe for the views or like for the thrill of it, like those who do documentaries, like at the graveyard kind of thing. I don't know what they wanna get out of it, and then just
Yeah. Yeah.
those live reactions, I guess,
I'm not
for the
yeah,
for the
for the
views,
views,
for the
but
views.
like
Mm,
I think spiritual world is real.
mm.
So I ain't into it.
All
I
right,
ain't into
got another one here from Ryan Reddy. Why do people in Fiji treat mangoes like a dirty sock?
it. That is a good question because I love mangoes. But mangoes are like an afterthought fruit in Fiji.
Uh-huh.
Huh?
Yeah, yeah.
Like mangoes are not like if you like
Is it because we always have it there? Or we always had it
Well,
in
I just I
provinces.
come from a place like here where we live. There's no mango trees. There's not a single mango in this whole in our whole Kobu Kobu, like our whole land, all season. So like you have to go to the coast if you want to get mangoes or to the market, obviously. But like we never eat mangoes hardly here. But like when you go to Canada or to the US, like mangoes are like that's like the tropical fruit. If there's like a tropical drink or tropical whatever smoothie, it has mango in it. That's what makes it tropical is mango.
Mm,
But yeah, so it's weird because I love mangoes. Like that's my favorite fruit in the world is a mango.
mm.
So I don't know. Yeah. Why? Why are you smiling again?
No, no. The way he said
Oh
that
shoot!
sucked.
Look at that. I accidentally called somebody in the middle of the call. Sorry, Jessica. Um, she sent in a few questions. Where are all the women at? Women at? Where are the women at? And what are they doing? There seems to be a large amount of content with mostly guys in the videos. Just got me curious to where in the world the girls are at.
Mm.
So actually, where we live, we don't allow women in here. Come on, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, complete joke. Just clip that out. Just get roasted online for that. It's true. Well, my auntie's sitting there on the veranda with 2 loaves of bread.
Oh, she's actually here
Oh,
right now.
Jessica.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
Uh,
I have sons. I have a male dog, and I have male friends. I don't associate with the other sex.
this millet
Just
is only
one.
boys,
Only
no
boys.
girls.
Yeah.
Just one.
Huh?
Just
Just
one.
one.
Yeah.
But the only one close to my heart.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Stephanie. No, we did. I don't know. There's just like I guess you don't. At least in our village, you don't see like there's so few of us. There's only 8 houses, so you don't really see the women out as much. And I think that's not because like women aren't allowed out or whatever. It's just like that's just the way it goes. Like some of them have jobs, and
Small.
some of them have like. And I think a lot of the houses like we're up at this end of the village, and a lot of like the action actually happens at the other end.
Mm-hmm.
So uh, we're in like the chiefly house in the village, and so like this just like nobody just came up here. Like like in the past, like you didn't just come up to our house. Does that make sense?
Mm.
Like it was like yeah, because my grandfather was the chief, so it was like yeah, people come up here for a purpose almost, right?
Yeah, they don't
Like
just go around.
yeah, unless they're like of his like tabales or
Right.
something like that, like they come up here to chat. But yeah, I think maybe also there's like not that people aren't allowed to again. It's just that like it's not like the house you just come up to. Like
Mm.
it's probably like the last house in the village that you just like walk up to
Mm.
just to like have a yarn. Or what do Australians say? Have a yarn?
Yawn.
Yawn?
Yawn.
Yawn?
Yawn.
Is it yawn like
Yawn. Yawn.
silent J yawn? Or is it yawn like I'm yawning? Or
Yeah.
is it like a yarn? Like
Yawn.
I'm
Yawn.
knitting with yarn. Because Australians say things in a way it's like anything with AR, it's
Oh,
like the
they have
ka.
like crazy analogies. Like, oh yeah, let's talk about that, bro.
Yeah, dude, Australians. We're searching this out now, but yeah, Australians. This is gonna be a long live. Yeah, what is up with Australians and Kiwis? Yeah, you
Oh,
guys
do
got like you
they
got
have their own
yeah, you
thing?
guys got like your own language going on. Like it's like what do you call like a restaurant in Sabu, and it was like they got fairy lights for Africa. That's what
Mm.
they said. So I'm thinking ferry. Like when you say ferry to me, I'm thinking of a boat,
Mm.
not like not like uh
Very.
Peter Pan.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm thinking ferry is like a boat at a jetty. So I'm looking for like spotlights, big spotlights,
Mm.
and for Africa. And then I was like, oh, I have no idea what that means. So, but apparently, if anybody anything for Africa means that it's a lot of it in New Zealand, and Australia.
Oh,
So if you like, dude, there's chickens for Africa in this village. That means that there's
a
lots of
lot.
chickens. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So there's like that's I can't think of any other analogies off the top of my head, or like chalk and
Chuck
cheese.
and
Chalk and
cheese. Chuck and
cheese. That's
cheese.
that one's called. That's another hilarious one because it's like chalk and cheese. So hey, you idiot! Get off my mat. This
Hey,
dog
oh
just
my
like
God.
walking around like this is just well, yeah, whatever. Good boy. Sit down. Sit. What's with that face? Sit down.
It does.
Yeah.
Chalk,
Chalk and cheese. So
chalk and
like
cheese.
the chalk and cheese thing is like people say, oh, it's like chalk and cheese. Like it's totally opposite. Like this is like it's like wine and yangona are like chalk and cheese. Like they're
Mm,
just totally different, right?
they don't go together.
Yeah, they don't go together. Yeah, and
Maybe
so
after, but
yeah, I don't know. I've never tried. I bet you somebody watching has tried, but
mm-hmm.
also like it's such a weird like it's like whoever ate chalk to find out that like you could compare chalk and cheese.
Mm.
Is that a common thing? Maybe people do that in Australia and New Zealand. Maybe the consumption of chalk is out of control.
I was thinking, I was like, wait, so they eat chalk as well, and then they compare it. Oh yeah, it's definitely doesn't go well together. That's the craziest analogy ever.
Maybe, maybe.
I always say this. Australians will only understand Australians. You know, like
Yes, 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 yeah.
yeah.
They're like when you get together with Australians, you're like, whoa, they have so many like unique references and
Mm,
like their pop culture. Like Australian, New Zealand, I can't really remember, but Australian pop culture is like its own thing. Like
mm.
they are definitely on an island, in a big island, because like the references, the TV shows, the music that they listen to is like, I'm like, I've never heard of that band.
Have you sat down with a bunch of Australians and then just like have a talk with them?
Yeah,
Do you
I
sometimes
feel like
do you
Where's
sometimes
Waldo?
like you're like, oh, they're laughing at something when and you're just feeling like you're not part
No,
of
no,
the
I'm like,
conversation.
ha
Like,
ha
haha, what are you guys
ha.
saying?
Yeah, totally, it's crazy. Yeah, I like, yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, just act like I know what's going on. I have no idea. Just yeah, their conversations, like their references, are just chalk and cheese compared to North America. Badoom. That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
My job.
Mic drop. Oh, somebody asked me about. Oh, this is a really good one, and this one comes from Kaushal Puran. Thank you for asking this question. Men expressing emotions, your thoughts, or discuss in general how to handle well being a male. This is a
Hmm.
this is a good conversation to have though.
Yeah.
Like so I think I like I said yesterday, I feel really blessed like to come from to have a dad even like I know lots of people don't have fathers in their lives. So I had a dad who I think broke that generational like I don't know if you call it a curse, but like the generational tradition of like having heart like men having heartfelt conversations. And so with his dad, like they would just sit here in that chair where my auntie's sitting, and like my dad would just sit like at his feet, like on a mat,
Mm,
and my grandpa would just sit and they just talk and
mm.
not and talk about. What's up? You want to join? You want to sit down? Okay. And they would talk about things that not like important things, just chat, just have a chat, have a
Mm.
yarn.
I mean,
Wela kai. Mai.
Lily, Taki,
Taki.
Taki.
Huh? Yeah, you can put a rock in that slingshot. Yeah, if you go behind the house, you shoot it into the bush. Have fun. It's great. Um, and so he did that with me, and we call each other friends now. And so, just give me one moment. Lillian,
Kerjesa.
lolly, Lillian. You have to be at the beginning of the episode to understand that. So if you're just joining us now, when this is posted, go back to the beginning and you'll understand what we're talking about. On guava. um, so yeah, like my dad and me have intimate conversations and we're able to talk about things, and I think that really helped me as a man to have that. So yeah, what do you think, Dee? So our content manager, who's behind the camera right now and producer of our podcast,
We be
is
the
you're really passionate about like mental health and stuff like that, right?
yeah,
Men's and women's,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Um,
Well, mostly I'm for like men's mental health
men's mental health. Okay,
because the reality that we Fijians live now. Like, would it be the question again?
okay. Um, just thoughts on men expressing emotions,
Yeah.
or how to discuss
Mm.
general how to well-being, handle well-being, being male.
Um.
Men expressing emotions. I mean,
Well,
let's talk about
I'll just give
ourselves.
a little like background things like what we men go through, right? And here in Fiji,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. This is a good.
Um, with you, you were talking about how you are so fortunate to have that um
Yeah, like I
relationship with your
feel
dad.
like an anomaly, so it's
Mm-hmm.
hard for me to give like an honest like review on like what it's
Yeah.
like for most men.
It's I would say it's just really tough to express emotions,
Mm,
like man to man. We find it's more easier to confide in a woman or somebody who's a total stranger. But
mm,
overall, it's just hard
mm,
to show emotion or just to have somebody to talk to. It's because one of the contributing factor is I would say the culture. The culture plays an important role in how we are brought up.
mm,
You know, um, where like our upbringing in the culture and that masculinity and knowing, you're the sole breadwinner of the family. And you always have to be tough. We're always being pushed like, hey, you don't need to cry. You don't need to do this. You're a man. You
mm,
should be tough. And like all that, just sort of just closed up,
mm,
a person or a man
mm.
himself. And like to to try and to cry in front of somebody and to share
Yeah.
their thoughts or
Oh, here it's here. You looking for your
their
ammunition?
feelings
Yeah.
is really hard because to other men it would be they will feel uncomfortable and like, hey, this is a joke,
Mm.
like we don't know how to even
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
confide
yeah,
and or like to show the support
yeah.
in a way. So usually for us men here in Fiji, we're just like, hey, how you doing? Sad. I'm okay.
Mm,
And that'd be like, yeah, that's fine, and
mm.
that's the end of the conversation. We don't
Right.
want to dive into
Yeah,
more on that.
yeah. Do you?
And
I got like a hot take right now,
uh
and I don't know. This is like, I don't even know if I should be bringing this up, but like for the, like Fiji has a high per capita. I'm talking per capita here. So for the population, I we have a high like LGBTQ like concentration, especially um like men.
mm,
And do you think like men who act like women, right?
mm,
Now, do you think, and you guys like, I'm a lot more closely tied to this LGBTQ movement than a lot of you will ever know. Um, Personal like relationships that I have,
mm.
and so
You mean your
don't.
friends?
Yeah, yeah,
Mm,
yeah.
mm,
With and so yeah, yeah, with friends. And so I have had decades of like experience in this. Not saying that I'm an experienced person, but I'm coming from a place of compassion when I'm saying this. So I hope you guys hear this out. But like, do you think that like, because I hear it from people in my house,
mm,
like nobody right here, but um, that like when one of the boys cries, like stop crying, like crying is for girls, like
mm.
in Fijian, right?
Yeah.
Like boys don't cry. You're or like don't cry. You're a boy,
Mm.
right? And so, do you think that like if you're told that like emotion from a young age, like the showing emotion or like heartfelt emotion means that like you have that you have the tendencies of a woman,
Mm.
like do you think you like would affect you growing up, being like, man, maybe I'm kind of like
Maybe
maybe
I
I'm
am
not,
a woman.
maybe I am a woman, maybe that's what I actually identify as because like I am so emotional.
Mm.
I don't know. Like
Mm.
I'm not saying you have
Mm.
to answer that. I'm just saying like I've never thought about that premise before.
I never. That's an interesting take.
Hmm.
Like to seeing it from that eye. I I really don't know.
Hmm.
I really don't. I I feel like I do know, but like I've never really
Thought about it.
thought about it.
Right. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
Because if I'm young and I'm like crying and I'm like getting told that like, hey, you're being a girl, you're being a girl. Hey, boys don't cry,
Mm.
or like, hey, don't like
Yeah.
girls do this, and like you want to do, you like doing something that the girls do.
Yeah.
And like,
So like, does that mean I'm a girl?
yeah,
Because
yeah,
I cry and
yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. It's an interesting take, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never really thought of it. But yeah, I go back, which goes back to that question. It's just hard. I don't know. I don't know how. I mean, we on this in this era where men are starting to open up. I guess it takes, I don't know, people to be aware of it,
Mm.
which is what we the non-profit organization that I'm part of are pushing, mostly with youths.
Right. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
and so even for me, I don't want to dive into this more, but personally, but like with me growing up with my dad, it was really 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 tough, I guess.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like just to show emotion, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
and be open up and
Yeah. I think it's hard too. Like if you don't have those conversations with your kids, like obviously we know like pornography is like a huge problem in Fiji, right?
mm,
Or it's a huge problem all over the world. Actually, I think it's actually taken a huge dive in North America. I
mm,
was reading a report for whatever reason. I think it's people walking away from social media and like getting a lot more like controlled with their screen time. Like there's such a huge push like for that. But Fiji being just like a bit behind, like
mm,
like pornography is a huge issue, and so like to be able to talk with like I talk to my kids about how they feel about girls, like because Leaky's like into that stage where he's like being all like, oh, like girls aren't gross anymore.
mm.
Girls are like, oh, she's cute. Like I can see when he looks at a girl, he's like, like waves,
Yeah.
like the other day, right?
Right,
Like,
right.
hey, what was that? What does that look for? Right.
Yeah,
So like to have like, to see like, hey, I see what you're seeing.
yeah,
Like, hey, yeah, she's a pretty girl.
yeah.
Like like, and so like to break down those barriers, like we get to have these conversations, but to like with the say with the pornography thing, like if you try to start that conversation up when you're a man, like when you're a dad, you're talking to like a 17-year-old or
Mm,
an 18-year-old man or kid who's
mm.
like almost a man, it's like it's too late almost. I
Yeah.
can't imagine so me and my dad never had or didn't have many of those
Mm,
conversations,
mm,
like those like really really tough conversations.
mm.
um but I think he did such a great job being like seeing where he came from, right, the steps
Mm,
that he took,
mm.
like, and now the steps that I get to advance on a little
Yeah,
bit.
yeah,
So I don't think I'll be as good as dad as he was, but um yeah, it's hard like with your dad,
yeah.
like, so it's hard now, like, you're a man obviously,
Mm,
like to start up those conversations
yeah,
is
yeah.
is tough.
Well, we have a unique relationship, me and my dad.
Mm.
We always talk about politics, and whenever I wanna have a conversation with my dad, I had to bring that up
Right, right,
just to
right.
have that
Yeah.
conversation.
Like your
Yeah, cause
common denominator,
yeah,
common point of
yeah.
interest kind of
It's
thing.
like,
Yeah.
hey, so what do you think about this news? Like, blah blah blah,
And
blah,
then
blah,"
he'll
and
go,
yeah,
yeah,
and I
yeah.
just love just sitting there listening to
Yeah,
my
it's not that
dad.
you don't like
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
You
well,
actually you enjoy
yeah,
it, you're saying.
and I
Yeah.
get more intel from him
Yeah.
than from news.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so like with that, I just feel like um just looking back, and I see that he's reaching out. He's definitely reaching out and like
Yeah, the thing
trying
is
to
like and the thing I
have that
think that
conversation
you
like
should understand is
relationship. Yeah,
yeah, is
yeah,
that like your dad, other than you acknowledge that, like he doesn't know how to do it,
yeah, yeah,
right? And
yeah,
neither do you. But it's
yeah.
not like you guys can expect that from like he can't expect it from you, you can't expect it from him. But eventually
Mm,
if that's what is gonna happen, somebody has to
mm,
take the first step, right?
yeah,
Like so you're gonna have to reach out, I think.
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, definitely,
Right?
definitely, definitely.
But like we
Because
never
I'm at this place where I know so much about like mental health now.
right, yeah.
Like I've gone through um tough battles on my own as
Yeah.
well, which
Yeah.
built me a stronger man.
Yeah.
And the way I see it, like, yeah, I definitely have to reach out. I definitely have to take the first step
Yeah.
because I don't blame him for because the way he was brought up. It
Mm.
was back in those days
Yeah.
where this kind of things are like a
Yeah.
taboo kind of thing
Yeah.
to talk about. But with men in this era, I feel like when you have a family, when it starts from home. It starts
Mm.
from if you
Yeah.
have a son, definitely starts
100%.
home and at a
100%.
young age.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, bro, that's why I always see you with the boys.
Mm.
I was like, man, definitely, definitely, I'm taking notes, and no, I just love the way you bring out the boys and just like
Hey.
how you talk to them and how they have this, just relationship with you, and
Right,
they
right.
they feel comfortable to talk about things and just
Okay.
yeah. And like
Shitty.
no, no,
Okay,
honestly,
I
brother,
appreciate it.
honestly,
I
man.
appreciate it.
Yeah. So that's like I appreciate just looking at you guys. Like, man, there's so much I gotta learn from this,
Yeah.
and yeah, you guys just have a wonderful relationship, and that's what you are doing right now,
Right.
which is
Yeah,
teaching
that's
them at a
like,
young age.
yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the tough thing. Water. I don't know whose is that. Water. Oh, there's water. I think it's in the fridge, buddy. How about on the table? There's a green jug on the table. Yeah, check on the table. Sorry, guys. We're live right now. Yeah, that's the thing. That's the toughest thing about like being in business and being trying to be a dad.
Mm,
Is like the most important thing. Like I'll give it all up. Like if it means that like if I can't be a good dad, it's like you have to balance that. You have
mm,
to you have to have the ability to have no balance in that area actually, because like to balance means that like you got to give your all for your kids. I guess what I'm saying. Like it's
mm,
not really like a 50-50 balance thing. And so also with my relationship with God and stuff like that too.
yeah.
Like it shouldn't be a balance thing. It should be way weighted to one side, right?
Mm,
And it's not always where I want it to be necessarily. But anyways, guys, I think we've been going on for an hour now. I hate to cut the conversation short.
mm.
Maybe we'll hop on live later when the duo are playing
Oh
or
yeah.
something. Yeah,
Catch that live reaction.
maybe. Yeah, we'll see. If not, you guys will see a video of it.
Awesome.
But we appreciate it. This is a bit of a different one. We kind of got a bit heartfelt on this one. I like this. I like this.
Yeah.
And I don't know if we can do like an hour every day, but we've been crushing out the half hour, 45 minutes
Right.
every day here.
Yeah.
So we love you guys. This is sponsored. This podcast was sponsored by Fresh Tea and Coffee, and we'll see you guys next time. Peace. Hey. Credits.
Moses.
Credits are rolling.